Hi, my name is Madeline Ford, and I'm currently taking the class Differentiating Instruction in pursuit of my Master's in Education. The most important thing I want you to know about differentiating instruction is that it's okay to treat students differently according to their needs. We took time to learn about 3 disabilities: autism, ADHD, and dyslexia, and the exceptionality called giftedness. These 4 exceptionalities will most definitely present themselves into our classrooms, and it's important that we know how to adjust our teaching and use specific strategies to best meet those students with these needs. So starting with giftedness. Giftedness is when students perform significantly above the norm for their age. It may present itself in different intelligences, including spatial, intellectual, leadership, as well as academic areas. A student with giftedness may have different sorts of learning profiles. They may have a need for perfectionism, or they may exhibit lots of boredom with the classroom. They may also have insecurity. And it's important to note they may also have a learning disability that may affect their pace of work and make their work seem very inconsistent at times. So what I want you to take away from the gifted section of this poster is that teachers need to be flexible. They need to provide choice and opportunities for these students to dig deeper, or even in some cases, to compact the curriculum and move beyond it when they already have a mastery. Teachers may do this with grouping students with similar abilities to challenge each other, or they may have individual contracts with the students that require them to work in a different, more accelerated or deeper level. Teachers should constantly be evaluating and assessing these students to make sure they are providing them an appropriate education. Moving on to autism. Autism is a disorder that affects social emotional communication, nonverbal communication, and deficits in understanding and maintaining relationships. A student with ASD in your classroom may have repetitive patterns of speech behavior. They may have a strict adherence to routines, difficulty with transitions, trouble communicating with others, and a sensitivity to sensory input. So it's important that we change our teaching in 3 specific areas: instructional areas, where we could add additional ways to communicate with nonverbal hand signals, or using hands-on materials. Then we can use environmental changes, like providing quiet areas or changing our lighting to best suit the student. And lastly, we can use technology that may help them communicate or use sensory motor tools. All right, moving on to ADHD. ADHD is also known as attention deficit / hyperactive disorder. It's a neurobehavioral disorder, and a person with ADHD may exhibit signs such as being inattentive, hyperactive, or impulsive. So what you need to know as a teacher is that you need to be very deliberate about your seating arrangements so that you provide a student with ADHD the best location where they have the least distractions. You may need to give your directions multiple times or in multiple ways, oral, but also maybe written for that student so that they can go back and reference the directions. It's also important to help them with organization and to chunk up assessments and assignments into more digestible units for them. And finally, we have dyslexia, which is a reading disorder. Dyslexia is characterized by difficulties with accurate and or fluent word recognition and by poor spelling and decoding abilities. So a person with dyslexia may often mix up similarly shaped letters. They may be jumbled for them as they read. It's a visual disturbance while reading. So a student with dyslexia may have trouble with reading. They may have a slower pace, and it may be hard for them to remember what they're reading because they're so focused on actually visually comprehending the words. But they may also have trouble in areas such as math and writing. These also are affected by dyslexia. So what, as a teacher, you should do? Provide books for the students with repeating words, repeating rhymes, also providing them opportunities to look over the books many times and maybe even take them home, and providing ways for students to interact with their reading multisensory ways. so that they can experience and really engage with what they're reading other than focusing so hard on the visual aspect. So the essential takeaway for the teacher that I really want you to know about dyslexia is that dyslexia may give them low self-esteem. They may feel anxiety over the fact that they're reading at a slower pace, and it's really important to be encouraging to these students and know that it's not a reflection of their intelligence. The last thing I just want you to know that I didn't mention, but is appropriate for all 4 areas, is that every child with this disorder or exceptionality is unique. They may have unique needs, they will have unique needs, and the teacher should be constantly looking inward to see how they can address those needs to their best ability. Thank you.